Hey guys, Takisugi here with a new game on Steam. This is known as This Book is a Dungeon, aka This Dungeon is a Book. So it's not your typical game. It's kind of like one of those choose your own adventure books, but it's a little more, invested than that because there are different paths and stuff depending on the objects you find and all that kind of goodness. So basically, you're reading a novel and you're choosing your own adventure, kind of, but there's some twist to it. So it's a little bit, yeah, it's an interactive kind of fiction book. So we'll start from the beginning here. So this book is a dungeon by Nathan Munier. Hopefully, I'm saying this guy's name right. I apologize if not to the author. So start from the beginning. Tick, 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 tick. You remember a time when you used to steal aching glances at the clock, praying for the strike of the merciful hour that had finally set you free. Temporarily released from the shackles of the tiresome workday, you'd eagerly rush home, shed your work clothes like a burdensome second skin, and flit off into the night to join friends for merriment and mischief. Those days are gone. Well, that's a downer. The shift came on slowly at first. Sharp pains, dizziness, restlessness, insomnia. But as even more unsettling changes tightened their grip within you, it became clear something was very wrong. Poked, prodded, examined, analyzed, a battery of tests, a gauntlet of medical pummeling and anxious uncertainty, and then the waiting. When the call finally came, you already knew the answer before the words rolled off the lips, rasping away on the other end of the line. Lost in an echo chamber, your mind parsed only snippets of the doctor's news, the ones that stung the most. It's terminal. Well, we're dead, guys. Good game. A year left to live. Well, we'll be dead in a year. Good game. Maybe 2 at best. Maybe 2 at best, guys. Good game. I'm so sorry. And then you're alone. Now time is your enemy, siphoning away the last of you with every passing moment, draining the light, the color from your world, leaving an emptying shell of aching hopelessness and dark anticipation in its wake. The clacking of keyboards, ringing of phones, and casual banter of clueless coworkers is a steady ache. By the way, guys, I'm not soundless here. I just don't think the game has any music at the moment. I'm not sure if there's going to be sound effects later on in the game, but we'll find out. It rakes at the frayed corners, pulled at the tattered edges of your weary mind. But the appointed hour has arrived. It dampens the din, if only for a short while. Tomorrow's another day, for them at least. For you, possibly. You linger for just a minute longer, letting the eager parade filter through the exit. The last to leave, you close up, lock the door, and pull your overcoat tight around you. A spitting mist turns into a downpour, well before you reach the dry sanctuary of the putrid subway entrance. The stairs are a descent into unpleasant smells and hustled near misses as bustling crowds crush together to get to and from their mundane 9-to-5s. For a moment you miss that simplicity of routine, the promise of continuance. So you're stuck in a subway with a lot of people. Pretty depressing. This game's getting depressing and depressinger. Standing at the edge of the platform, you look down at the electrified tracks. Wind picks up in the tone, signaling the rapidly approaching train. Your mind wanders. You imagine what it'd be like to be caught on those tracks, right as the train comes barreling through at 60 miles per hour. Death is a beacon, drawing you ever closer. It swirls and dances on the sparkling steel girders below. It teases and taunts, only inches away. Come to me, whispers the siren call. It's not yet time. Take a few steps back from the yellow line. 20 minutes feels like an eternity in the packed subway car. Damp, sweaty, exhaustion and regret mixed with promise and delusion, a wagon full of cattle, oblivious, tuned out, numb. Am I going to become a serial killer? Stop by stop, the opening and closing of the door thins the herd. It's a welcome culling, a shifting of space, a loosening of knots. Soon you're the last and can breathe easy again, but you still scan the car with a quick glance out of habit, one last time to make sure you're truly alone. Except you're not quite alone. There's a small leather satchel sitting on an empty seat in the far corner of the car. You glance around again, not trusting your weary eyes. There's still not a living soul save your own. The handrail is sticky with grime from the clutch of 1,000 dirty fingers. Filthy. You wince at its touch, but it offers stability as you work your way to the other end of the car towards the orphaned satchel. Where did its owner go? The bag is weathered and worn. Some tired soul will no doubt be missing its contents, you gather. A high-pitched whine pierces the air as the car rocks and rattles. The lights flicker. 32nd Street. It's your stop. Time to go. So here we go with the choice-based consequences here, and there are like various story arcs to the game, and we're going to try to do one gameplay preview here and at least get one of the endings. Hopefully, I don't end up like going on to the longest route, but yeah, we'll go along until we actually reach some kind of ending, guys. That's gonna take me a while, I would think, because I'm not the quickest of readers. I like to be a little bit methodical and slow-paced. So we have the option of taking the bag or leaving the bag there. So my conscience says to just leave it there. Don't worry about it. But my curiosity says take the bag. So let's take the bag. You instinctively reach out and swipe the bag, figuring it's better off in your hands than left to wander the dark tunnels inside a giant metal beast alone. This guy has some pretty strange thoughts about his life. Thick, stale underground air turns cool and damp as you emerge from the city's high-speed intestines and hit the noisy streets above. 340 steps later, you're at the grimy door of your second-story apartment. Fumbling the keys, muttering under your breath, the lock finally gives way. What is this guy, Sherlock Holmes, counting his steps? Peeling off your soaked coat, you drop everything on the table, kick off your shoes, and check your answering machine. You have no new messages, no surprises there. How lonely. Ignoring the pile of unwashed dishes and the empty fridge, you sidle back to the table and remember the bag. Inside the bag, you find an old book. Oh, pictures now. The book is aged and weathered. Its cover is adorned with an ominous skeletal being that looks half human, half serpent, and the title is written in a language you don't have the tongue to decipher. Open the book. That's the only option. Unlocking the old book, you open the cover and flip through the dusty pages. The book appears to be blank. How odd. Flip to the first page, flip to a random page, flip to the last page. Well, you start a book on the first page, unless you're in Japan, you start on the last page, which I guess is the first page. The frail pages seem to brittle to the touch, as if they're in danger of crumbling into nothingness. Yet your fingers resonate with an unknown energy. Flip to a random page, flip to the last page. Let's go to a random page. You flip to a random page and find nothing. Are your eyes playing tricks on you, or did you see the faint glimmer of words fading from view just now? Flip to another random page. Flipping through the pages, a faint flicker of ink catches your eye. You flip back several pages trying to find it. After much searching, you uncover a page that sports a faint drawing of a keyhole, sketched in pencil. You instinctively reach out a finger and trace it over the drawing. A sudden sharp pain, a paper cut, spurs you to pull your hand away quickly. Looking down, you notice the keyhole sketch has changed into a fanged serpent. Spots of your blood dot the page. Uh-oh, the book bit me. The room swims. You feel faint and disoriented. Your vision goes blank as you hit the floor. A sharp impact slams your temple, jolting your synapses with electric something. It sends a raw white heat burning through your consciousness. So I didn't skip that last page. It just like skipped on its own. Oh, and turned all black. Then empty space. You fall through the black void, erasing the past, erasing the future. Only the present. Is it Christmas? What is happening? Where am I? On a black page. Who am I? That's a good question. What is this darkness eating away inside me? Tumor? A cancer terminal? And then a light. Ooh. Flame. Am I supposed to click this? I think I'm supposed to click this. Okay, there we go. Whoa! You awaken in a small chamber illuminated by the light of a single flickering torch, resting in a sconce at the far wall. Hopefully I said that word right. The sharp throb pulsing behind your eyes fades quickly, but an unpleasant chill is creeping in. You notice words scratched into the stone floor. At this distance, the torchlight is too dim to make out what they say. You grab the torch from the wall sconce and take comfort in the subtle warmth it breathes across your face. You can now get a better look at your surroundings. Holding the torch closer to the floor, you can clearly see the inscription carved there. It reads, Chapter 1. Why the walls bleed. Wow, that's pretty hardcore. A heavy wooden door to the south appears to be the only way in or out of this pit. So I think that's the only way we can go. Hey, look, it's actually changing where we are on the map. The door creaks and shudders open and something. I missed that. You find yourself in a larger stone room that's cavernous and empty. The echoing sound of water droplets come from a passage to the west. You catch a whiff of something familiar, something out of place. Is that? You also notice another passageway to the east, as well as the door you just came through. So here we go. Here we got a few options here. We can either go to the west, where there's like kind of drops going in, and it looks like a dead end over there as well, but who knows. And you can also go to the east, which looks like a very long tunnel there. But we'll go ahead and go to the west, because I want to see what's in this little room, and maybe get a drink of water. The narrow corridor opens into a dead-end room that reeks of overripened fruit. You're blasted with a sweet, pungent odor which nearly overpowers you. Looking around, you notice a viscous, reddish substance draining out of several large round holes in the walls. This mysterious fluid drifts down in a slow, syrupy cascade, collecting in stone basins carved along the base of the wall. The only exit is through the passage you came in to the east. So let's examine this reddish substance here. The sweet odor is emanating from this odd liquid. You decide to leave it alone for now. Exit through the passageway to the east. So let's go ahead and head back through the east entrance here. The smell of rotten fruit wafts in from the western passage. There's also a passage to the east and an open door to the north. So let's head on through the east passage. Pushing further into the unknown depths, your eyes play tricks in the torchlight. What lurks in the darkness ahead, skittering away just beyond the glow of your torch. As you round the corner, you notice a small alcove in the passageway here. The corridor continues to the east. The northern passage leads around the corner back to the west. So we can either go into the small alcove or continue to the east. I think we will go to the small alcove. There's a large crack in the wall of the alcove. It's not big enough for you to squeeze through. Who knows what could be in there? Reach into the hole or go back? Okay, so this is where your bravery is put into test. You can see the little graphic here, so you do have like visualizations to this novel. So we'll go ahead and reach into the hole. Let's be a little bit brave. You reach into the crack and find a crude mechanical switch. Do you activate the switch? Yes. You hear the rumble of grinding stone further ahead from the corridor to the east. So go ahead and hack. So now we are back in that same passage. No need to read this again. Head to the east. At the end of this passageway, a section of the wall has shifted to reveal a hidden alcove. As you approach, torch held high, you see a monstrous form emerge from the darkness. Lumbering towards you, it attacks. So, I don't know if I have any really weapons to fight this thing, but I could try. But I think by virtue of me unlocking that thing before, that would probably set up me being able to flee from this thing, whatever it is. So let's go ahead and flee for my life here for now. Rattled by the shambling horror, you drop the torch and flee into the black void. So now I don't have a torch. Fumbling blindly down the corridor, you bolt deeper into the darkness. You're not alone. Run! The quickening beat of your pulse is pounding in your ears. As you feel your way through the pitch black, you cannot give up. You can make it. Run. Only a little further. Run! Is it still there in the darkness? Run! You gasp for air. Pain shoots up your sides. You are slowing down. The ache in your muscles intensifies. You can't keep this up. Should have did more leg day, I guess. Your fingers are raw and bleeding from scraping your way along the stone walls. Your mind races. Your pace lags. Your will is failing. You collapse to the floor in exhaustion. The world is dark and silent except for your pounding heart. Thump thump, 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 thump thump. That's a lot of thumps. Lovely lady thumps. Just when your pulse begins to slow and your breathing eases, a new sound catches your ear. It's very faint at first. The sound of insects scurrying along the floor. The sound of saliva dripping from an open mouth, panting with hunger. You hold your breath and struggle to lie still as the panting moves closer. Then it stops. Nothing, nothing. Anticipation's killing me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Click it. A sharp sting pierces your leg. A tentacle impinges and entwines you and draws you into the beast's slathering, fanged maw. You scream as it sinks its teeth into your torso, ripping chunks of skin and organs away and down into its gullet. The last thing you hear is the smacking and gnawing of the horror feasting on your entrails. You perish in one of many horrible ways. Try again and seek to change your fate. So maybe I should have actually fought the thing. Maybe stuck a torch in its mouth or something. But either way, that's the end of this little branch of the story, guys. I died miserably in the dark to some slathering beast eating my entrails and everything. So that is one of possible many endings to the novel here, novel game. You know, it's got some convenient things too. You can like go straight to the dungeon area once again. So you don't have to go through the intro if you're like, you know, really familiar with the intro by now. You'll probably get familiar with it. You probably would have gotten more than familiar with it if you played and tried to get all the different endings and everything, progress through the story. So you can skip right to the dungeon, as you can see here. You're right back there. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting story actually. I was pretty engrossed by it. It keeps you pretty engaged. You know, the little animations with little drawings and, you know, the screen changing from white to black and all that. That's pretty neat. It's pretty neat, and you know, you've got different options for what you're doing with the game. So it's pretty fun. I wish it would have had some sound effects or something. I'm not sure if it was intended to have any sound effects. Even some music would have been kind of nice. You know, shifts in music. I think that could have really improved the experience, having some sound attached with the words and everything. Really, would have really helped to set the mood. But, you know, I understand that's a lot to put into a novelization of a game that's already pretty, you know, well, it seems pretty well written to me. It's pretty interesting, pretty engrossing. But yeah, you can slap on your own music and everything, maybe, and pretend. You can use your imagination. That's the whole point of reading a lot of times. So yeah, that was fun, guys. So you know, I'd recommend this this novel here. It's pretty fun to play. You know, if you're into reading and everything, you need a break from the everyday action of a lot of games nowadays. It was pretty fun. So thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you next video.